out of here.
Safer, huh?
My first introduction to the post-apocalyptic genre was the 1980s cartoon show Thundar the Barbarian. It's set on Earth, but an Earth we can't recognize. The time is 3994. Our beloved planet is a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and the moon is split into two. There's no government, human civilization has collapsed, and mutants run amok. In this world of savagery, sorcery, and super science, evil wizards grow stronger using artifacts from pre-catastrophe Earth. The only ones maintaining justice in a world where the powerful exploit and oppress the powerless are the hero Thundar and his friends, Ookla the Mok, a mighty mutant who looks like a bipedal lion, and Princess Ariel, a powerful young sorceress. Their adventures lasted only 2 seasons and 21 episodes, with ABC canceling the show during a Saturday morning reshuffle built around Gary Marshall-related cartoons, beginning with Fonz and the Happy Days Gang, and followed by Laverne and Shirley. We Thundarians had to wait decades to meet our favorite heroes again, and we finally did so in February 2026, when Thundar returned in a comic book series launched by Dynamite Entertainment. Written by Jason Aaron and illustrated by Kubar Ball, Thundar the Barbarian comics are a strong hit of nostalgia, with more lore than the show ever gave us. From flashbacks about their lives before meeting each other to new adventures together, Thundar, Ookla, and Ariel are back like never before. So what are we waiting for? Let's dive right in. Flashback time. I'm going to tell you all about the 3rd issue in this video, so I highly suggest you watch our 2 previous videos. But if you don't want to, I got your back. Let's take a quick rundown of everything that's happened so far. Thundar infiltrated a group of slaves being sold to the Rat King, disguising himself as a slave. They were made to dive into the ruins of old factories to look for a piece of ancient machinery. Thundar revealed himself and began fighting the Rat King and the Rat Mutants, but it was too late as one of the slaves had found the artifact. The remaining rats escaped in General Zoa's submarine. They headed to the headquarters of the Council of Wizards, where Mindok received the piece of machinery to fix the moon dial, a device which will give the wizards control over time itself. The wizards cheered for the death of Thundar, thankful that victory would soon belong to the Council of Wizards. We see a flashback of Thundar's life, when he was enslaved in the dungeons of Sabian and forced to fight as a gladiator for the entertainment of Sabian and his audience. Thundar would wake up every day from dreams where he was a free man and rode around the world with a big fellow and a smart sorceress, but he ignored them as reality struck him in the face every day. He entered the arena to people cheering his name. Lord Sabian was not impressed by it, as he saw him as just another slave, but his daughter, Princess Ariel, assured him that he gave the people hope that one day they would be able to fight as fiercely as Thundar did and dethrone Sabian. Sabian laughed it off. Thundar, for his part, fought till not one of his opponents was alive, drank till he could forget reality, and dreamt of free skies. The dreams haunted him, as deep down he believed they would never be true. In the present, Mindok and Gemini talked some sense into the rest of the wizards, who had begun to fight among themselves. They reminded them that all of their attempts had been thwarted by Thundar, and if they joined hands, they would finally be able to defeat him. Just as they turned the moon dial on, Thundar broke in with Ookla and Ariel. A battle broke out, but the moon dial triggered a portal to a different time. The wizards jumped through, and Thundar, not thinking twice, followed them with Ookla and Ariel close behind. The trio pursued the wizards to the top of a building. As Ariel gazed at the sky, she realized what time in history they had reached. It was 1994, on the exact day Earth changed forever. Within a few moments, a runaway planet would hurtle between Earth and the moon and unleash a cosmic destruction so powerful it would change civilization. Sabian, in the past, had taken his daughter's comment about hope seriously and had unleashed amok on Thundar, who was none other than Ookla. Histories and how they frame us. In 1994, scientists in a space station noticed an unidentified object rapidly approaching Earth's orbit. The runaway planet was so large that the scientists were shocked that they had missed it and couldn't even figure out that it was a planet. They called it a megacomet, and just one look at it made them realize that Earth stood no chance. Billions died that day as the skies ionized and lava oozed out of the ground. As humanity drowned in their sorrow, screaming as one, there was a sound of laughter in the sky. The wizards siphoned energy off the planet to make themselves powerful and completely erase humanity from Earth. Ariel realized whatever spell they would cast would only make the destruction worse. Thundar lunged at Mindok with his sun sword, but he only managed to cut off clothes from his mechanical body. As retaliation, Mindok unleashed his drones on Thundar and his friends. Ariel looked on in shock, wondering how the three could take on so many wizards. We see a flashback from Ariel's childhood. Sabian had gathered all the children he had enslaved in a room and granted them a chance to become his child and escape a life of slavery. He He unleashed a gigantic winged monster from his sorcery and told the kids that the only way to kill the beast was through sorcery. As the beast rushed at the kids with its open maw, a young Ariel screamed, ordering it to stay back. As she put her hands up to defend herself, a powerful blast emitted from her hands and hit the creature. Sabian was impressed and complimented the little girl. Ariel innocently asked if she could see her parents now, but Sabian simply told her that her parents were dead. He led her inside while telling her that she would need to face another trial the next day. Ariel looked back and asked him what would happen to the others. Sabian told her not to worry about it, as she would one day be a wizard, and wizards did not concern themselves with rabble. The creature, having had enough time to recover from Ariel's blast, began attacking the children. Ariel got the answer to her question as she heard their screams soon after. In 1994, the wizards soon realized they needed even more wizards to focus their energies. Ariel took down one of them, siphoning energy from the cosmic disaster just like the other wizards, but instead of exterminating all humans, she was using it to destroy the wizards. The Wizard Council laughed at her audacious attempt, with Argoth commenting that Sabian had raised a fool, but Ariel knew the truth. Though she didn't like to admit it, through blood, suffering, and cruelty, Sabian had raised a powerful villain. Using as much energy as possible, she radiated a blast so potent that the evil sorcerers around her were knocked off their feet. In Thundar's past, Thundar had faced Ookla with great enthusiasm, glad he could add amok to his kill list. But that was squashed within seconds, as Ookla broke his sword in two and punched him so hard, Thundar crashed against the floor. His brain slammed against his skull, and memories of dreams rushed to the front of his mind. Strangely, as blood oozed out of his nose and mouth, he remembered that his dreams had amok. He could not dwell more on it as Ookla picked him up by his hair and tried to crush his skull with his hands. Sabian pondered displaying Thundar's head at the front of his arena as a warning for anyone who dared to harbor hope. As if on cue, a cry was heard behind him, calling for his death. The slaves used their chains to choke the life out of Sabian's guards and rushed towards him with shouts to fight like Thundar. Sabian grimly pointed out to Ariel that hope spread like rot in a limb and used his magic to reduce the rebelling slaves into mere ash. Ariel left her spot beside her adopted father and rushed into the audience to take a closer look at the two. Thundar freed himself from Ookla's skull hole by biting his hand, and Ookla reciprocated by throwing him right into the wall. Ariel called out the two of them, telling them to stop, as Sabian wanted them to kill each other. She asked them to defy him if they wanted to live. Thundar was shaken by Ariel's voice as he remembered hearing it in his dreams. He wondered if the dreams were true when Ookla pulled him by his throat. Thundar kicked Ookla to free himself and cut the Mok using a shard of his sword. He talked himself out of his shock and believed he'd lost his mind from drinking too much. He threw the blade down and asked Ookla to kill him so he could finally be free of his misery. In the present, or the past of the present, in 1994, Thundar realized they needed to help Ariel as she was about to lose herself to sorcery. The wizards, meanwhile, quivered as they never knew Ariel was so powerful. As she sent another powerful blast at them, she told them that Sabian only got to see her true potential the day she stood over his corpse. The power coursing through her body felt unlimited, and she looked over the devastation on Earth. She had the power needed to end the cataclysm and reverse time itself, but she also knew that it would mean erasing her very existence and the existence of those she held dear. She decided that saving humanity took precedence over the lives of her, Thundar, and Ookla. So, whispering an apology, she was about to reverse time when a blast knocked her down. Sabian showed himself and asked Ariel to let the true-born wizards change the world, as she was still a weak-willed spawn. Ariel questioned how he was alive, but Sabian didn't answer her. He mocked her for thinking someone like her could kill the Lord of the Council of Wizards and bound her using chains created from his magic. He attacked her and pushed her down the building, and Thundar looked on helplessly. Ookla and Thundar, running on pure anger and grief of possibly losing their friend, ripped into the closest wizard they could get their hands on. In Sabian's arena, Thundar had egged Ookla on to kill him, but Ariel's words had affected Ookla. She kept pleading with him not to let Sabian corrupt them, and Ookla listened. Thundar slapped Ookla back into the fight and asked him not to trust her, as she was a witch. The slap angered Ookla, but before he could attack, the guards had electrocuted both of them. Sabian closed the arena for the day and ordered all the slaves to return to their cells. A guard pushed Ariel to move, mistaking her for a slave, and immediately apologized when he realized she was the princess. He escorted her back to her father, while telling her that she would not find anything in the arena but death. That day, Ariel thought hope would be found in the arena, and she would make sure of it. In 1994, the Wizard Council had lost another wizard, but Sabian was as strong as 2 wizards and joined hands with the council to finish the spell. Ookla and Thundar attacked the shield of magic surrounding the wizards, but it was too late as the spell was successful. As a result, Ookla and Thundar begin to disappear. Was that a cliffhanger or what? How will Thundar and Ookla avenge Ariel if they're erased from existence? Is Ariel alright? We'll have to wait for the 4th issue of Thundar the Barbarian to find out. If I had to guess, I'd say Ariel's alive. Though extremely injured, she'll probably get back on her feet and use her wits and sorcery to get them back somehow. These are my predictions for now. Let me know yours in the comments below. This was truly a fun comic to read. The art is exceptional, especially the way Ariel is drawn. You could sense every bit of her emotion. The innocence and naivete in her childhood, the fear, and finally, the horror of survivor's guilt. Same goes for adult Ariel. The shock on her face as she wonders how she would defeat so many wizards, the burst of energy she gets from siphoning energy, they're all super well drawn. The flashbacks deal with the complex emotions our heroes dealt with before they became heroes. Ariel had to lose her childhood, and Thundar refused to believe there was a life for him outside his chains. And it's truly a message of hope, as we tend to forsake it in times of true despair. And if you're someone who keeps up with the news, you know how bleak hope is right now. So let's take a page from Ariel's book and remain hopeful, even in the worst of times. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications to never miss an update from our channel. I'll soon be back with some more awesome stuff, but until then, you stay marvelous.